Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints Vikings from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium Sunday morning there in London. Let's go to London right now and chat with Tatum Everett. Always good to get some Louisiana flavor, who is now covering the Vikings as a content manager for the Vikings in-house and is now joining us from London. Tatum, we appreciate a couple of minutes. How are you?
Cheerio from London. No, I'm good. How are you, Matt?
You're probably doing far better than all of us. Wait, so before we came on, you were telling me like you're walking to Buckingham Palace, what,
Yeah.
like just I guess a common par for the course type day as a Vikings beat writer there. But what's the day been like? What's the day been like today and sort of the trip so far?
Yeah. We got here yesterday morning. A lot of us are here, kind of same thing the Saints are doing. We do activations around the city, but as far as content goes, we went to Sky Sports Studio. We have a friend that works there, Neil Reynolds. He's an on-air NFL Red Zone kind of guy that works for the British sports station. And so we did an interview with him. He's been to our facility. He's a good friend of the Vikings. And then today we did a behind-the-scenes tour of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was so impressive. What's really cool about it is that they can retract the grass from the soccer pitch, and then they lay down the synthetic turf to make it an NFL field. And it actually takes the field down some because a soccer pitch is actually a little bit above where a football field would be. And so that transition, we got to see a little bit of that and look at the locker rooms. You know, they have 2 NFL-sized locker rooms that the soccer teams don't use, or the British football teams don't use. And so, it's just a really, really neat experience. The environment is beautiful. The stadium's amazing. And it's gonna, I know Saints fans, and I know Vikings fans, and it's gonna be a really, really loud experience.
What's the mood been like around London? Like, is there anticipation for the game?
Yeah, I think people are, you see Saints fans, you see some Vikings fans. I think we'll see more and more as the time goes. But around here, you see the signs, it's not as big of a, like they're thinking about their UK games on Saturday. But I do think that if you're a UK football fan of the NFL, you're definitely like looking forward to this. I know yesterday Neil Reynolds told us they just couldn't imagine having, 3 games, let alone 1 game, let alone 3 games 20 years ago.
It's technically a Saints home game there in London. It will be very interesting to see what the dynamics are inside of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday morning here Central Time. As far as the team goes, Tatum, how did it go for the Vikings? As far, of course, played the Lions on Sunday, but the travel and sort of the acclimation to the travel and the time zones.
Yeah, it's actually funny. We really haven't had a quote unquote normal week yet in the NFL. So the first week, we obviously had a long time to prepare for the Packers. Then the team had Monday Night Football, and then they had a short week before they hosted the Lions. And so now they're headed to London. So it's kind of been a learning experience for everyone. It's a brand new coaching staff, so they're trying to, make their mark on the staff, but also figure out their own schedules. And so it's actually been pretty interesting since it's been a very unique start to the season. I know the Saints are already over here, but the Vikings don't get here until Thursday or Friday morning. They leave Thursday night, and they'll get here Friday morning, have a couple of walkthrough practices, and then they'll be ready to go Sunday. Okay,
I didn't even realize. So the Vikings didn't. So the Saints made the decision to go immediately after the Carolina game. The Vikings aren't arriving until later in the week. Is there?
Yeah, it's funny because because they're the home team, they do have a couple more media obligations and things like that they have to do as far as when you're the home game in London. So when you're the away team, you really can kind of dictate when you want to go.
Interesting. Okay. It's good info. Tatum Everett is with us, Vikings.com. She's an LSU grad as well. So sticking with the purple and gold, even in her professional life right now. I'm curious also your impressions of Kevin O'Connell. Was the OC for the Super Bowl champs a year ago. Now, obviously, first-time head coach in Minnesota. How has that transition gone here in Minnesota?
Transition's been really good. He brings a lot of positive energy. He has brought a new mindset, even a different coaching style. There is a lot of positivity, constructive teaching, collaboration, and there's not as much getting down and out. Like when they were so close to losing that game several times on Sunday against the Lions, and coach was just extremely proud of the guys for being able to dig deep and bring out the win, no matter that they were, trailing double-digit leads twice in the game. So I think that new coaching style and that new attitude has really reflected in the players' effort. And I don't think they think they're finished yet. They don't feel like they've played their best football. We're only in week 3, so we're heading into week 4, and hopefully they'll be able to become a more complete team in the long run, I think, is obviously the end goal.
Tatum, when we turn to looking at things on the field, with the Saints, Jameis Winston's back has just been a massive storyline and will be for as long as he and the Saints are dealing with this. Minnesota looks mostly healthy so far through 3 weeks, aside from maybe the Dalvin Cook injury might be concerning. What can you tell us just about the health of the team so far through 3 weeks, and what might be sort of a question or something to watch here this week as we get closer to the game?
Yeah, I would say that team is fairly healthy. I think they've got, the New Orleans native Irv Smith is back in the game. He's obviously missed last season and missed a lot of camp, but he was back for week 1, and he is continuing to be as healthy as he can be. I do think the Dalvin Cook injury is an interesting storyline to follow. Knowing Dalvin, if he can play with it, an injury like that, then he'll be in there, and I wouldn't doubt that. But if not, I think one of the more underrated depth positions that the Vikings have is in the running back room. So when Alexander Madison is used to stepping up for Dalvin when he's injured, you've got Kene Nwangwu and Ty Chandler's a rookie back there that this coaching staff has a ton of confidence in. Another thing to watch is Harrison Smith. He did miss last game with a concussion, but the hope is he will be ready for Sunday.
Okay.
He's obviously a big veteran part, too.
For sure. A couple more for you. Justin Jefferson had the monster season opener. A little quieter the last 2 weeks. What's going on there?
Yeah. I don't think it's anything cause for concern. I think that when you have a player like Justin Jefferson, he's always going to draw the double team or the bracket coverage. And I think a lot of teams watched what happened in week 1. The Eagles and the Lions were able to kind of shut that down because they know that they're going to have to put all their attention on JJ. Now, the problem with that, Matt, is that you can't leave Adam Thielen, and KJ Osborne open because they're just as dangerous, especially when they're not having, Adam Thielen's wide open touchdown on Sunday and KJ Osborne's game-stealing touchdown catch. So as much as people should, especially your fantasy teams, if you've got JJ, you're like, wait, what happened after week 1? But if you look at week 2 and week 3, he'll be back, especially when teams start to realize you double JJ, you're going to have to pay with Thielen and Osborne.
Yeah, this has been a matchup that has certainly favored Minnesota of late against New Orleans, and everyone sort of looks at that offense and understands what they are and what they can be. What about defensively for Minnesota? Early on so far in the season, the yardage allowed statistics look a little alarming. What have been the bugaboos defensively for Minnesota early?
I think the ability to stop the run game has been really tough for this Vikings team, but they've got some veteran guys there in the middle, and this defense is sorry, I really thought a pigeon was about to fly in my face.
That is the most London thing that could have happened.
Wow, that was really, I'm not kidding. I really thought I was about to be pigeon meat. But anyway, they're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4 this season under Ed Donatel. And I think that they are just trying to figure out and communicate and play better. When I talked to Dalvin Tomlinson after that Eagles loss, his main thing was we're not communicating enough, and that's why we're missing our assignments. That's why we're in the wrong gaps. That's why we're not on the same page doing our jobs. And so I think communication's been a big point of emphasis. And I think you saw that a little bit with the Lions. I mean, it's still alarming, though, that the like you said, the amount of yards this team is allowing is bad, but they also are seeing it from a glass like half full, where they're like, look, if we can still make the stops we need to make to win, we can work on that other stuff, knowing that will improve in the long run.
Vikings are 2-1. Saints are 1-2. There is certainly a feel of urgency and desperation for New Orleans in this ball game to get the win. For Minnesota, Tatum, if I asked you, what's the key? What has to go well for Minnesota on Sunday to leave Tottenham Hotspur and London with a win?
I think you kind of hit it on the head. They have to be able to stop the run game. They cannot let the Saints gain a lot of ground and get momentum going or a rhythm going on offense. If they can do that and their offense has the momentum and they're able to put together a complete performance, I think that's where it lies. I think a lot of this falls back on the line play and Kirk Cousins having enough time to make sure this offense is running at full speed.
Cheerio. Fish and chips. Have a pint.
Yeah.
You going to see the King at Buckingham Palace?
Yeah, we're headed to Buckingham right now, and I think we may make a stop in Trafalgar Square and then call it a day. Jet lag is real, Matt.
That's why I'm surprised to hear that the team is leaving Minnesota on Thursday, considering the jet lag. But we'll see if it does, in fact, play a role. Tatum Everett, make sure you follow on Twitter at Tatum Everett. LSU alum working there at for the Vikings, Vikings.com. Follow all of her content there and follow her on Twitter. We appreciate it, Tatum. Enjoy the trip.
Thank you so much, Matt. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.